If you've ever bought a cheap starter electric because the price looked good, you know the disappointment that follows: flabby tone, a neck that just won't stay in tune, and the feeling that you've spent a fortune on a paperweight. That hesitation is exactly what I felt before I took a closer look at the Ibanez Yvette Young Signature YY20 in its eye-catching orange cream sparkle finish. The link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, and I'm going to walk you through why this guitar might be the smarter buy you've been looking for, or why it could still miss the mark for certain players. First off, the YY20 isn't just another entry-level shape. It's a signature model designed by Yvette Young, known for her intricate fingerstyle techniques and bright, articulate tone. That pedigree matters because the guitar's core components, a maple neck, rosewood fingerboard, an alder body, and 2 single-coil pickups, are all chosen to support a clean, articulate sound that can still bite when you need it. If you're the type who spends hours layering loops or playing clean arpeggios that need every note to ring clearly, the single-coil setup feels surprisingly responsive. The orange cream sparkle isn't just for show. The finish actually helps protect the alder body from minor scratches, which is a nice practical perk if you're a gig-hopping musician who can't always keep the case closed. Now, let's talk daily usability. The neck is a standard 22-fret, thin U profile, which means it's comfortable enough for both chord strumming and extended fingerstyle runs. I tested it on a few of my own songs that range from jazz-inflected chords to rapid, percussive tapping. The neck stayed stable through a full 45-minute session, and there was no noticeable fret buzz even after bending strings into the upper frets. That kind of reliability is critical if you plan to use the guitar for both practice and live performance. The rosewood fingerboard adds a bit of warmth to the tone, balancing the inherent brightness of the single coils, and you'll find the feel comparable to higher-priced Ibanez models that use similar woods. So who should consider this guitar? If you're a guitarist who leans toward clean tones, modern indie rock, or progressive fingerstyle playing and you want a signature instrument that reflects a professional's approach, the YY20 is a solid contender. It's also a good fit for intermediate players who have outgrown a beginner's slab of wood but aren't ready to invest in a custom shop model. The price point sits in the mid-range bracket, so you're paying for genuine Ibanez quality without the boutique price tag. On the flip side, if you're a metalhead who depends on high-output humbuckers for crushing distortion, this isn't the guitar for you. The 2 single coils won't give you the aggressive low-end punch that a typical metal rig demands, and while you could push an amp hard enough to compensate, you'll likely end up with unwanted noise. When it comes to practical strengths, the first thing that stands out is the tone clarity. In my testing, the YY20 sliced through a fairly busy mix, allowing each note to sit cleanly without muddying the lower frequencies. That clarity shows up whether you're plugging into a small practice amp or a full-stack PA system. The second strength is the build consistency. The neck joint feels tight, the hardware aligns perfectly, and the finish has a smooth sheen that catches light without feeling slippery. I also appreciate the fact that the bridge is a standard Ibanez tremolo, which is easy to set up for both subtle vibrato and more extreme whammy bar tricks if you ever feel like it. On the weakness side, the single-coil pickups, while great for brightness, can be prone to hum in a brightly lit stage environment. If you're playing in a venue with lots of fluorescent lighting, you might notice a faint 60 Hz buzz when you crank the volume. That's a typical trade-off for singles and not a defect per se, but it's something to keep in mind. Another subtle issue is the lack of coil splitting or pickup phase switches. Some players enjoy the flexibility of toggling between humbucker-type fullness and single-coil crispness, and the YY20's straightforward 2-pickup layout means you're limited to the native sound of those coils. Finally, the guitar doesn't come with any onboard electronics upgrades like a locking nut or a higher-end bridge. Those are optional upgrades you'd have to install later if you need extra stability for heavy bending. Putting the value into perspective, the YY20 offers a level of craftsmanship that you'd expect from a signed model, but it doesn't charge a premium for ornate hardware or exotic wood. You get a maple neck and rosewood fingerboard, both staples for good playability, paired with an alder body that gives a balanced resonance, all for a price that sits comfortably below many other signature series guitars. If you compare it to a generic $300 starter guitar that uses a basswood body and basic hardware, the YY20's tone and feel are markedly superior, which makes the extra $100 $150 spend feel justified. In terms of long-term ownership, you're unlikely.